Your morning starts now. It's the Q102 Jeff and Jenn podcast brought to you by CVG Airport. Fly healthy through CVG. For more information, go to CVG Airport /fly healthy.
So Michelle is looking for a second date update with a guy named Chris. Hi, Michelle. How are you?
Hi there. Good morning. How's everybody?
We're doing good. So tell us about Chris. Let's start from the beginning. How did you meet him, and how did that first date go?
Okay. Well, I actually met him on Christian Mingle.
All right. And is that because you, in fact, are a Christian looking for a like-minded Christian as well, or did you just...
Not necessarily, but yes, I would prefer a Christian, but it's simply that I had tried all the dating sites. Like, seriously, I did every one of them. Yeah. And Christian Mingle was simply my last hope.
So it's more like a last resort for you.
Well, kind of, yes, but not so much deliberately. It just sort of ended up that way. But anyway, I had lots of hope. So far, so good. I had met 4 really nice guys, and the first 3 guys were great. They were just simply not for me, and that's okay. But then there was this 4th guy, and I felt had lots of potential, so I was really hopeful. We had one lunch date, and it lasted for a whole 2 hours, and I think that's a long time.
Yeah.
So we talked about so many different things, politics to religion and careers, children. We talked all about our childhoods, our families. So we seemed really compatible. So I was hopeful. And also, he seemed really kind and gentle and compassionate, and I really liked that. And he was way more involved with the church than I could ever be. He goes on mission trips, goes to church every week. And I, however, I'm just like a Christmas and Easter kind of girl. I'm embarrassed to say that, but I don't know. Maybe that's the reason why things didn't go well, because I don't go to church that often.
That's what I'm wondering. Yeah, so you're not opposed to going to church. You just haven't found the right one, or you're just content?
I just don't feel like I need to. Like, I can stay home, and I truly mean this, too, from the bottom of my heart. I can stay home and talk to God if I want to. And I can bare my soul. I can tell him of my sins and ask for forgiveness, and I can pray. I don't feel like I have to inconvenience myself and go on Sunday morning at 7 a.m.
Well, the whole point is you would live Christ in your everyday life, right?
Right, I do. I do feel that way, yes.
I can also relate to that. I consider myself, shall we say, Christian in progress. I do feel as though it has more to do with, like, your personal relationship. And your faith.
Absolutely.
Not discouraging anyone from going to church. There's a lot of great churches out there, so I'm not disparaging churches. I just haven't found the right one yet.
You have to look. It's like looking for a guy. It's like finding the right guy. You just have to keep trying them all until finally one hits.
Yeah, so you think you may have found it with this guy.
Maybe, yeah. At least I thought that, but I don't know what happened. I feel like maybe I pissed him off, but I just want to know. I feel like there was a lot of potential there between us, and I just want to make sure that there wasn't something that I said that he maybe misunderstood or anything like that. I don't know.
All right. Well, you'd like the opportunity to clear up if there was any misunderstanding.
Oh, my gosh, yes.
And we're not saying there was, but he's obviously a lot more involved in the church than you are, so we're going to try to ascertain if that had anything to do with it. It was a 2-hour lunch. It covered a lot of ground between politics, careers, kids, family, religion, all that stuff.
It really did. It was a great lunch, and the conversation just flowed, and I was just excited to hear what he had to say, basically.
Okay, well then let's do this. We're going to take a break here. I'm going to put you on hold. We'll get the phone number from you, and then we're going to call Chris and get his thoughts, see what he thought of you and his lunch with you. Coming up as we continue with Jeff and Jenn here at Cincinnati's Q102. Well, Michelle met Chris on Christian Mingle. In fact, she met 4 nice guys on Christian Mingle. She went on a date with all 4. The first 3 were very nice guys, just not for her. But this 4th guy, Chris, showed a lot of potential. It just felt right with him. They went on a lunch date that lasted for 2 hours. So they spent quite a bit of time talking. They covered a lot of topics: politics, religion, careers, kids, family. He's a very kind man. He's heavily involved in the church, which is great as far as Michelle is concerned. She doesn't have a church that she goes to on a weekly basis. She's more, would you say, like a Christmas and Easter kind of girl, church-going girl, Michelle?
Correct.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Chris he's heavily involved in his church. He goes on missions trips and he volunteers. So there's a possibility that the difference in involvement level might have something to do with it. But we don't know because he hasn't really indicated one way or another. And after this 2-hour lunch date, you simply never heard from him again. Is that right?
Right. He just totally ghosted me, and I just want to know why.
Okay.
I'd love to see him again.
All right. Let's see what we can do. We're going to call Chris.
Hello?
Hi, can we speak to Chris, please?
This is Chris.
Hi, Chris. It's Jeff and Jenn at Q102. How are you?
Jeff and Jenn.
Yes, sir, from the radio show on Q102.
I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with that. I don't really listen to terrestrial radio.
That's all right. We were just hoping you'd be willing to come on our show and chat with us for just a few minutes.
I'm on the radio.
Yes, would that be all right with you over the phone?
What is it that you do?
I co-host the morning show on Q102, and we talk about a variety of different topics. One of those topics has to do with relationships. And the reason we reached out to you is because we got a phone call from a woman who knows you. She's a big fan, had great things to say about you.
Really? Okay, well, that is interesting. Sure. What can I do for you?
Well, we spoke with Michelle.
I see.
Yeah, we heard from Michelle, and she said that after that 2-hour lunch date you guys had, she walked away feeling like there might be some real potential, but then she never heard from you again, and she's concerned now that maybe she said something or did something to offend you. I know you're heavily involved with your church, and she doesn't attend as often, so she thought, well, maybe that's it.
Well, I'm not sure I can be much help.
Well, I'll tell you what, she would really appreciate some kind of explanation or closure either way. I mean, if you don't want to see her again, that's fine, but rather than just kind of leaving her hanging, can you give us a reason as to why?
Yes. I mean, I would say that you're on the wrong track when you think it might have to do with her not attending church services. It's more about the living she makes. I didn't realize what a social media strategist does. She hooks people in for a living, especially children, on a platform that is, quite honestly, coming from the darkest side of evil. So when she told me she was a social media strategist, that it was someone who strategized ways to make it stop. That's not the case.
Okay. I first of all, I had no idea she was a social media strategist.
Yeah, that's the first we're hearing.
And you thought a social media strategist was someone who works to curb social media usage amongst teens?
Correct. It just reminds me of working for the tobacco companies, to be honest.
Huh. Okay. I'm just thinking of all the social media strategists we have employed in our building for 2060 Digital.
Or even like our social media, we have a loose strategy, and we share good vibes and cool stuff going on in our community and highlighting people doing great things.
Yeah, social media can serve a lot of purposes, and not all of them bad.
Well, I don't want to come across as judgmental. I mean, I was just appalled at some of the things she was telling me that she did in her job, because I'm not here to judge. So I didn't say anything on the date, because if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything. But here you are asking me for an answer.
Okay. Michelle, first off, what are your thoughts on this? What type of social media strategizing do you do?
I don't know that I do any social media strategizing, so I'm really surprised that you're even saying this.
I thought that was your title.
I see that you have no problem judging here now that you're on the radio in front of hundreds of thousands of people. I mean, don't you just love this guy now?
Well,
I love the way that the people who claim to be non-judgmental in the middle of being so damn judgmental.
Well, I'm just trying to get to what his main concern is. He has this perception of you as someone who's directly involved in a line of work that's bad for society. What exactly is it that you do?
Well, I do work in marketing, and we do have social media strategists that work with us, but that's not what I do. Now, I do have a personal Facebook page and a personal Instagram page, but I don't post anything that anyone should consider toxic.
Well, I don't know if that makes a difference, Chris. I mean, does that give you a better sense of what it is exactly she does?
I think what one may consider toxic and another considers toxic. For instance, she did show me a picture of her and her girlfriends at the beach having a good time, seemingly innocent, but a young teenager may see that and see these attractive, scantily clad women and feel the pressure to project a certain body and image. I think that it's all toxic, and I just need to be true to my faith, so I think I just need to respectfully decline.
All right. Well, Michelle, it's not always the answer we want, but when we put ourselves out there...
Yes, we live and we learn, don't we, gentlemen?
We do indeed, but we appreciate you putting yourself out there and coming on Second Date Update. And Chris, thank you for taking the call.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
I don't even know what that was about.
If you need our help with a Second Date Update, just send us an email, Jeff and Jen at WKRQ.com.
All right, coming up, we got a handful of things that I've already forgotten about that I was going to promote, plus the 1K letter of the day. That I know is coming up. Stick around, straight ahead. There's something else I was going to try to squeeze in between there. First, let's check the roads. Here's Denise. What do you got?
Thanks for listening to the Q102 Jeff and Jen Morning Show podcast, brought to you by CVG Airport. Fly healthy through CVG. For more information, go to CVG Airport /fly healthy.